Now what's going on, my fishing fam? Today we're gonna do something a little different. Something I wanted to do for a while was make a part 2 to that original fillet video that I did, where I'm just showing you one technique of how to go ahead and fillet a certain style of fish, but it actually works with almost any style of fish. I'm gonna go ahead and show maybe a little more details to what I was doing in that video, because I've heard some feedback from people and they were saying I wish I would have got in a little bit closer and really showed up close what we were gonna be doing. So pulled out the old trusty table, just hooked it up to the hose. Alright, now that I've got the table all rinsed off, let's go ahead and get out what we're going to be filleting here. Alright, that was a good sized trout that I caught today. Meaty sucker. And I just went and picked up this cheap blade today. I actually have a really expensive blade that I left at a friend of mine's house when went over there and we were making some fresh fish and doing a couple different style meals, but left that over there, so I needed to go out, and today I just went and bought a cheap, just $7 fillet blade, but this thing for $6. I just got done sharpening it up. It's actually got quite a bit of weight to it, a lot heavier than what you would think. So wood handle, and it's supposed to be a stainless steel blade, so I'm gonna see how it holds up, but I've already sharpened it up a little bit and it should do the trick. So let's go ahead and dive right in. First thing right out the bat, get a nice clean surface, or you're gonna go ahead and start doing this. Now I'm gonna try and get kind of close. I don't know, getting the best camera angle here, but here's the spine right here on the top. You got all the top dorsal spines right here. So what you're gonna wanna do is, if you actually put your knife in between where the spines start, and you actually put the knife and just push them, and just push the blade in, you'll notice that it gets really soft right in that area. And when it does, you just barely put your knife edge in. So once the knife goes in, only want to be about maybe a ½ inch, maybe 3/4 inch, but ½ inch maybe, and just barely put that blade in and just run it down those spines. Now if you end up hitting an area just like I did right here where it's not cutting through, you probably went too low, pointed the blade too low toward the spines. You need to flatten it out a little more and bring it a little more shallow. Go back down the other direction, point the blade the other way, barely go in, just maybe ½ inch, and just start your cut right there. Okay, once you've made your way all the way down to the end, what you want to do is, inside of here you see all the meat. You want to barely put your thumb on the inside of that lip right there and grab that bit of meat that you've already separated. Then put the blade running with the direction of the bones going down. Take the blade and just slowly rub against those bones. See, I'm just cutting against those bones going all the way down. And the meat's just starting to pull on its own. You just keep grabbing the meat that you're cutting away and just keep pulling the meat away. See, I'm slowly grabbing it with my thumb, pulling it away, and then you just run the blade against these bones here, run it against them, and just keep pulling the meat away. And if you're doing it just right, that meat should just come right off. Just like this. Now, you'll see there's the spine right there. I've cut low enough to the fish where I can see the spine right here. At that point, I can go ahead and just put it right on top of the spine and go right through the fish. Pokes right out the other side, and then just keep the blade level, pointed just a hair down in the front, just a hair down in the front, and then just run your blade right along there, and it should just cut right along the spine. Boom, right off the back. If you get it right, you see this, look, just grab right here, right where all the meat is, and just run your blade right along those bones. You see that? Look at that. Same thing, here's the spine, just running the blade along the spine and along those other belly bones. And once I get to this area where I've started to get a good section of it off, so far, I mean, you can see the result. Here's all the bones running down. Missed a little bit of meat right here, but not much. You see it's shallow enough where you can still see the blade through the meat. So we didn't miss a bunch, that's really what we did, but we did pretty good on this top portion here. And once you start to get low enough here and you've got a lot of the meat pulled back and you're starting to see the internal organs, just keep cutting those sections away, keep cutting away, and when you get to about here, right about the front of the stomach maybe, or just right about this section of the fish, that flap back over, come along and make a diagonal cut going right underneath the gill plate. You see, here's the gill plate here, I'm lifting it up, just keep your boat right here at the edge of the gill plate and just cut right through. Bring that down through here, See, I just made one diagonal cut right behind the gill plate here. So now that we've already got most of that fillet taken off here, go ahead, put the knife right here. I put it flat against the belly, and then just look. Break those spines coming right up. There we go, look at that. There's a slab of trout right there. Let's go and rinse them off really quick. See all that nice white meat starting to come out? Look at that. All right, so once we had our filet a little rinsed off, let's go ahead and from here, I like to go ahead and just take the skin off right from here. If I'm gonna make fillets, if I'm gonna cook it with the skin on, that's a different thing. I'll just remove the belly bones. But we're not gonna show that. Right now, we're just gonna go ahead and skin this sucker. So what I like to do is take my nail and just grab the very tip of the skin right here. So you can see I'm grabbing the tip of the skin and I'm leaving room to be able to get my blade to be able to get this white meat. So get your blade right about there and keep it about diagonal. I'd say not 45 degrees, maybe about 30 degrees. And I just lean it right against my finger right here. See that? Just at that angle. And you just, like I said, start sawing that blade, keeping that downward angle I said. You just keep grabbing the next part with your fingernails here. So you see, every time I make a cut and I do a little bit of saw, I move up with my fingers, grab the next part, start to saw it a little bit more, grab closer. See that? Boom. What you should be left with is just this. Just the skin. No meat whatsoever on that. Look at that. You can almost see through it. Okay, let's rinse that fillet off. All right, so we've got our fillet nice and rinsed. We just took the skin off it, so let's go ahead and take out these belly bones. You'll notice right here, if I just run my fingers this direction across the fattest part of the fillet, if I just group my fingers just like this, you can see I'm already grabbing bones right here. That's the area you almost just want to grab with your blade when you start to work your way up. So put your fingers right in between where the spot is, and then just let the blade fall right in there. And there's all the belly bones right there. So now flip this trout, and on the inside there's probably a couple of belly bones that we missed. Yeah, right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those now. What you wanna do is, after we've already made that section and cut off those belly bones that we just did, now you wanna go ahead and make just a small cut right here in the shape of a V, going straight up the center of it. So I come in at a diagonal right here, just toward the center, right here where the center line is. Just make a cut right here, real shallow, and then make one more going along it, right there. Just to remove this triangular section, and that'll guarantee the last of those belly bones you didn't miss. Give that fillet one more rinse. Grab a Ziploc, drop it in. Look at that. That's a beautiful thing. All right, now let's go ahead and finish up the other side. Same as before, you want to go ahead and start, put the blade just on the top of the spines where you're almost pushing against the spines here. And then just lift it right above that, and you should be able to get right into the meat. Run that right down, like I said before, against those spines. Same thing here. Peel that meat back and just start running that blade along those spines there. Okay, once you get most of the way up, like I said, going right along that spine, stop out of the way. find the gill plate, make that diagonal cut I said before. Once you get through there, peel the meat back so you can see it one more time. Put the blade right on the spine, right here. Put the blade right on the spine, lay the meat over, and break the rest of the way through. Boom. Look at that. All right, so let's go ahead and take the skin off. Just like before, grab right here with your fingertips, right on the edge of the skin, and then just diagonally run the blade real shallow. So you can see I'm already underneath there, in between the skin and where the meat is right there. And just keep that blade at that angle and just do a saw motion. Don't do a push. You're gonna tear the meat into it's just gonna be mangled and shredded. Do a sawing motion. You'll see, look at this. See that? That sawing motion, it just goes right through it. If you keep grabbing farther up, every time you get more meat, keep moving your fingers up. Keep sawing away. And look at that. There's another skin. That in the bag. That's another good tip too if you want. Whenever you stop when you're fishing, you catch a lot of fish and you end up having a bag of ice, you still have the bag left over. Use the bag whenever you're filleting to put a lot of your parts into. When you put them right into a, let's say, regular trash bag, the spines are going to stab right through it. It's nice to have that little bit of extra barrier in between the spines and the actual bag for it not to tear open. So if you got the old ice bag, use that, man. Make a little hole at the top, throw all the parts in there. And put that in the trash bag, tie it up, and take it somewhere. Once again, grab your fingers right here. You see I'm feeling for the spines. There they are. Take this piece off. Here's the start of the spines right there. You see I'm pulling against them and they go diagonal. So I'm just gonna make a diagonal cut right along those spines. Look at that. Just go right along. And see, I can still see them right there. I'm still pulling my fingers against them. And just go right along that area. And, you know, a lot of people, when they're watching this video, may say, oh, you're taking way too much time. Well, for one, I'm trying to show people how this is done. And two, I am a firm believer that even if it takes an extra 30 seconds to fillet that fish, or 60 seconds, that I think since you killed that fish, I think you kind of owe it to them to get as much meat and do as much use off of them as you can. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think if you're just going to kill a large fish like that, you know, kill them for a reason, so you're at least going to eat them. Don't leave anything wasted, and don't leave too much meat on the, you know, I understand when people are just starting out and you're just getting new into filleting, I mean, of course, you're going to lose a lot of meat on it. It's going to happen. But as far as when you get experience down the road, like myself, I just still, at this point, don't feel good rushing it. When I know I might make a little bit more of a mistake by rushing it and then lose a little bit of meat. I don't want that to happen, so I take a little bit more time. Let's see if we got any stuck in there. I don't think we did. Nope, that's a good cut. I don't think we got any in there. So we're gonna bag them up. And if you just keep at it, keep filleting, keep practicing, trust me, you will get better. It just takes time, and it's something that you have to do by repetition. It's just not going to come easy. You got to get in there, and each fish is different as far as where the anatomy and, you know, where all the internal organs are. It's different. So, you know, using the method I show you, it's a good way of avoiding a lot of the internal organs till you really get through the fish. So I feel like that's one of the best methods, and you know, it's one of a couple that I use, but mainly that's my go-to. So I hope you guys appreciate this video. I hope it shows you a little bit more in case you're catching your own fish, how to go ahead and process them, you know, store them, or if you're going to eat them that night, or like I said, if not, you know, you can keep them on ice for, let's say the fillets, for up to 3 days you could stay on ice, but it has to be on ice. And then, you know, after 3 days time, you should already have eaten it. But if you're going to freeze it, then as soon as you get done filleting it and you bagged it, go ahead and freeze it right away. It's just going to preserve the freshness of it, and that's what you want to do when you're going to go out there, especially looking to catch those high quality or high table quality fish. So yeah, keep that in mind, and you should have a good time. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys have any questions regarding any of the techniques, if I didn't slow down enough during certain areas, anything else you guys want to see. Just put that down in the comment section. I'll get back to you right away, tell you, you know, any little thing that I can as far as the process. So anyway, thanks again for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Posting brand new stuff all the time. I'm gonna have some really, really good content coming up in a minute here, so I'm super excited. You guys stay tuned. Thanks for watching.